Let's welcome our next guest who just recently passed the CPA exam.
My name is Anshul Goyal, and I'm a licensed chartered accountant in India, practicing into public account firm in India since 6 years.
What did you do a day before the exam?
A day before the exam was really difficult. I was going through more MCQs after every 30 minutes I was like, okay, let me do some more. And I checked out ASCPA simple test again, preparing for the whole prometric experience and packing up the bag and everything, because I had to travel actually 12 hours to and fro from my city for the prometric. I used to start up like 5 a.m. in the morning. I used to reach 11, and I got 1 hour before entering the prometric, and 12:30 was my slot time, and I came out of around 4:30 and something, and I used to reach back around 10 p.m. at night. So the exam day was always been a terrible day for me. Traveling so long, and then you need to be highly focused on the screen during the prometry exam. And 15 minutes break, I used to really sleep. Taking up some eye drops with me, and it was really difficult to manage. Yeah, I would like to mention one point. Before ASCPA started testing in India, we had to travel to UAE or US. So it's much better to travel, 12 hours in India. For the first 3 exams, I slept properly. Last night for the last exam, I could not sleep, and I was like 24 hours awake. It was really overwhelming. I was a little disturbed, for the last exam, because it was just in 3 weeks' time I was preparing and going for the exam. And I became really too much anxiety in my mind, and I could not sleep the last night for the exam. It was terrible.
What was the most difficult section for you?
Wow. So most difficult sections, I would say it was Reg and FAR for me actually. Reg I could manage because I got little time and space to prepare. But yes, definitely FAR was so disturbing for me. And I really did not have any idea how to take down the notes for the FAR, because it was like 600 pages and the other subjects were like 300 pages. So it was double the other papers. And it was so overwhelming to take down the notes in just 3 weeks of time. And I gave myself only 1.5 weeks time for practicing the MCQs and SIMs. So it was really difficult to really understand, how should I tackle this exam. But again and again, I was pushing up myself from inside. I said, we have to do this at any cost. So just keep practicing, whatever it is. My ready score was, like very low, like 40 or 30 something. And still I managed to pass with 79 score on this. But yes, my first 2 exams really gave me a confidence. You can do it. You have a proper strategy, and you just need to implement it and just relax. Everything will be fine on the exam day.
In what order did you take the CPA exam?
I did a lot of brainstorming to understand which exam I should take first. The order which I did was REG, BEC, FAR, and AUD. And the reason I started with REG was I have a text background, and I checked out some YouTube videos before studying for CPA. And those videos were like 3 or 4 minutes, short and bit size. And in India, we have a miserable experience, studying. We put like 30 to 50,000 study hours actually. You go past through the chartered accounting course. And those YouTube videos gave me an idea that yes, I can grasp it quickly and get ready for the exam in short time. And that was the big reason for me to start with REG. So it's a kind of a huge adventurous journey from beginning to the end. REG was something which was really, complicated in terms of the law. Because it does not include just tax, it includes, business laws, contract act, incorporation laws, everything. And the rest of the parts, the other than tax part, was easy for me to take up. Tax was a little bit complicated because all those understanding the tax basis rules and property exchange rules and everything was a little tricky. So I took up my notes, tried to condense and simplify it for me for the exam day. It really worked out for me. That's really important to understand that out of four exams, REG and FA are considered as complicated in terms of the content, and BEC and AUD, they don't include much complicated contents as compared to the other two. So what I planned was to go for one complicated, that was REG, which I was comfortable with to go first, and with that I complemented with one easy exam. So I could not go for audit because I really wanted to have an experience of US accounting before going forward with audit. So I decided to BEC because I had experience studying those topics in India before. So BEC was manageable with the RAG. Audit was easy for me because we have experience, reading and studying audit in India, and it's huge and vast. It's completely a different level. Yes, AICPA audit exam is also a different level. It's more practical oriented based. So I had to do some brainstorming on audit also, but yes, it was not so complicated for me because I could really understand the content.
How long did it take you to finish the CPA exam?
Overall, I passed my entire CPA exams in 5 months, and specifically speaking, for RAG, I took around 4.5 to 5 weeks of preparation, which includes 3 weeks of taking the notes and the rest of the weeks for practicing sims, AICPA sample tests, simulations, and MCQs, everything. For BEC, uh, I actually prepared after my reg exam. Before that, I started to take up the notes around 1 or 2 weeks before, and my whole strategy was in India. Actually, this is the first time the AICP and ESPA started testing in India. So it was only June and September months. The testing window was open only for 2 months. So my strategy was to pass two exams in 1 month and the later two exams in September month. The FAR and the AUD I took up in September month, and for REG and BEC I took in June month. So for REG I booked my slot for the first week, and for BEC I actually booked around 20th of June, but I kept pushing it till the last week. It gave me more time to prepare actually. So my actually technical experience on preparing for BEC was between these two dates actually. So around it was 4 weeks to 4.5 weeks for BEC, and for FAR it took around 6 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks something, and AUD was after the FAR exam I passed the FAR exam. I just managed to do it in 3 weeks. And also I did little research. I joined some Facebook groups, especially the NESPA group on the Facebook, and I came across that everybody was able to manage in 4 weeks time. So I thought that yes, maybe if they can do it, I can also manage it. So let's go forward with that strategy.